Good morning, dear students, and welcome back again to my channel. And today we have A Thing of Beauty by John Keats. We are going to do a quick revision of this poetry for CBSE board exams, and let us try to understand what John Keats have to say through this poetry, A Thing of Beauty. First of all, let us discuss what we have in today's class about the poet, introduction, theme, sub-themes, the poetry itself, explanation of it, points to ponder, poetic devices, vocabulary, and of course, the most important assignment questions. Without wasting much time, let us move on to the first page of this poetry, which is about the author. And as you can see, the romantic poet, romantic era was there in 1800s. During this particular time, 1800 to 1832 was known as the romantic era in the history of English literature. And during this time, the writer was there, John Keats, who fell under this particular point of time, and that's why he is known as a romantic poet. Then, although trained to be a surgeon, Keats decided to devote himself wholly to poetry. There is one thing about Keats. John Keats died very young because he was suffering from a particular problem, that was tuberculosis, and he died young. He lost his family members when he was too young, around 11 to 13 years of age. He lost his mother and his brother to the same kind of illness, and he was being taken care of by one of his friends. Such a beautiful soul, suffering from illness, so young, and yet that pain he has transformed into the form of poetry is about nature, poetry is about life. This is the gift of John Keats he has given to us. We do not need to know much about it, but yes, this particular poetry is taken from Endymion. Endymion was a bigger picture. Here, the character Endymion was a shepherd who fell in love with goddess Cynthia, the god of moon, and he was searching for her through the nature. And for wooing her, he has written this particular poetry, these lines. The poetry name was Endymion, and here the shepherd is singing to praise Cynthia by telling her that the things of beauty or the nature is a thing of beauty which will remain forever. And every single thing which had been made by nature is of some or the other use to humanity, to every one of us. So through this poetry, let us try to understand what the writer is saying about the beauty of nature. First of all, the introduction of the poetry. In this poetry, A Thing of Beauty, John Keats glorify nature and its beauty by saying that nature is wonder. Nature and its wonders, coming back again over here, not only mesmerizes us, but also take away the sorrow that surrounds us. So yes, it provides us with health, happiness, deep sleep, and takes away anxiety and depression and everything away from our life. All of you might have experienced this by going to the natural places. Whenever you visit, you get the time, you get the freedom, you get the holidays. Everyone rush towards either the sea, beaches, or towards the mountain. Somehow you will be able to relate to this. Then he opines or give the opinion that beautiful bounties of nature are worth being treasured. Very, very important over here. They are the source of eternal joy and their impact never fades away. Unlike the materialistic things we have for us, the cars, the houses, the tablets, and everything around you, each of these things are materialistic things. They will fade away after a particular time. But the natural beauty will always stay with you forever. You may fade away from that photograph of the sea. You might have read that in class 11th. That particular photograph poetry. The mother has faded away, but the sea is still the same. That is the example that nature remains forever. This thing of beauty is forever, a joy forever, right? Then the poet believes that a beautiful thing has a healing power. Yes, we have experienced that. Provide us with good health, remove sadness and despair. Despair is some kind of negativity from our life. Moving forward to the poetry itself, the theme, impact of beauty on our lives, how beauty changes our life, the real beauty, not about the materialistic beauty. Okay. Then sub theme is gratitude to nature. He wanted to pay tribute to the nature in the form of a thankful poetry. Of course, this is the Endymion speaking to goddess Cynthia and telling her how beautiful your things, the nature is. Then the narrator is the poet himself, John Keats, sitting outside in the garden in the morning time and writing in his notepad was John Keats, and this poetry came out from that particular notepad. So what it is, a thing of beauty is a joy forever. Very, very important line over here. Why the writer has said this is a joy forever, unlike the joys we get from other things of beauty, like falling in love with someone, getting some new things for ourselves, everything and everyone will fade away, will become old and go away, right? Will be withered completely and will lose the value. But this thing of beauty is a joy forever, because this is from nature, which will not wither away so easily. Its loveliness increases with time. It will never pass into nothingness. The loveliness of a thing of beauty will never pass into nothingness means that the more closer you will go to nature, the more better you will find yourself doing in your life. When you are young, for you, nature is just playground. When you become teenager, for you, nature becomes, for some time, that particular inspiration where you go and just feel relaxed, and you can just feel that energy coming through you, reverberating through you. When you become a bit older, the nature becomes for you the exile, where you go and relax and just forget the world, the sound, the noise, the pollution, and everything. You want to go back and retire into the nature. That's why it is said it will never pass into nothingness. It will keep on increasing, because the importance of nature with your age will keep on increasing in your life, not diminish, right? But will keep a bower quiet for us. A bower is a place which is covered with all the branches and vines and everything. Beneath that is a small table or something, wooden table or a log of wood, where you can sit and relax and sleep. That is called a bower. So it will keep a bower quiet for us, and a sleep full of sweet dreams. Whenever you go to the natural places, you feel yourself more relaxed, and you feel that you are getting a good night's sleep. You feel that you are getting the full night's sleep, and everything, every tension and worry goes away for that time being from your life. So that's why full of sweet dreams and health and quiet breathing. It gives you relaxation in your life, and then you come back, and then once again you restart your life doing whatever you're doing in the cities. Then, therefore, on every morning, but here one more thing, it has it for everyone. The bower, the space for everyone. We the humans don't have space for everyone. We live in these small houses with small mindset. If someone else comes to us, we don't want to share that space with them. We say no. But the nature is so wise. No matter how many of us will go to it, it will always have this space for us where we can just feel relaxed in ourselves. That's why it is important in human life. That's why he's saying next line, therefore, on every morning, tomorrow is morning, are we reading? Reading is binding, creating a flowery band to bind us to the earth. We are coming more and more closer to the earth. We are becoming more and more closer to the nature. And we should. We should. Then, and you can see that thing up. The more the urbanization is rising, the more the people are turning towards, once again, the natural things. That's why today the products which are organic are in so much of demand. Of the places which call themselves the farmhouses in the lap of nature are being sold for millions of dollars. Why? Because once again the human beings are going back to nature. They have understood the drastic nature of the urban life. That's why. Then, spite of these are the red words over here are the negative things of the city life. What kind of things we see in city? Despondence, losing any kind of hope, right? When you become hopeless in your life. Of the inhuman dearth of noble nature. Dearth means lack. Of no noble nature means when you don't find people who are helpful to you. So here in the city we find the inhuman dearth of noble nature. There are very few people who genuinely want to help you out. Of the gloomy days, we are always and always covered with gloom, sadness, something or the other thing upset us, because maybe those are materialistic unhappinesses, maybe those are about not achieving your goals and all that thing. But yes, we do have the gloomy days with us. Then, of all the unhealthy and over-darkened ways, what kind of unhealthy and over-darkened ways we follow? By not keeping ourselves healthy, by eating the fast food and every kind of thing which harm our body. Over-darkened ways over here are the practices of drugs, alcohol, and all those practices which harm your body, right? Still, these are the negative things we are all are doing in the city. Still, made for our searching, yes, in spite of all these bad things in the city life, nature always keep this place for us. It will always inspire us. It will always be like a friend who will come to heal us. It is ready to heal us out. No matter what bad things we have done, no matter how worst this situation is, nature will come to your rescue. And that's why it is written, yes, for our searching, in spite of all, some shape of beauty moves away the pall. The pall is the curtain of darkness which is fallen upon us. The thing of beauty will remove that pall. Just like in the morning when you just move the curtain and the sunlight enters and you feel that energy back again. That's what the purpose of thing of beauty is, to move away the darkness from our dark life, right? That curtain from our darkness. Then next is from our dark spirit, such is the sun. Now the example, the poet is giving the example of things of beauty. What are sun, the moon, the trees which are old and new, young trees and old trees. Then sprouting a shady boon, because they are providing us with shade, they are providing us with bark, medicine, and everything what you can name a tree can give it to you, right? Fruits to medicine, everything. Then for simple sheep, even the sheep is also over here. For simple sheep, here it is alliteration also, because sheep, if you look at Christianity, it is symbolic gesture of peace. The Jesus Christ has been showcased carrying a sheep in his hand. He's called a shepherd. We all are called the sheep. So the sheep over here is a symbol of peace. Then the simple sheep which provide us happiness, and such are daffodils, the flowers. They also give us that happiness on our faces, and natural flowers. Then with the green world they live in, and clear rills. Rills over here is denoted with the small channels of river are called rills. And the clear rills that for themselves a cooling covert make. Cooling covert is alliteration, and it also means a kind of a place where you can just go and relax during the amid the hot season. What is written in the next line against the hot season? During the summertime, you go and jump in the river, and you for some time feel relaxed from the heat. That's why the river or the rills are also a thing of beauty. Then the mid-forest brake, rich with sprinkling of fair musk rose. Between the forest, the musk roses are blooming, different kind of flowers are blooming. Those are also a thing of beauty, because that forest is providing you with that kind of essence of flowers, that smell, that happiness, that nature, right? Then, and such too is the grandeur, the greatness of the dooms, the dead people, the stories of those warriors who have died. That is also a thing of beauty. But how come the dead people stories are a thing of beauty? Because whenever you listen to the stories of the dead warriors, the freedom fighters of the country, you always feel inspired. You always feel like you want to do something better with your life, right? So that's why it is written, the grandeur, the greatness of the doom we have imagined for the mighty dead people. That is also an inspiration, a thing of beauty, which always keep on encouraging and motivating you. Finally, coming to the last part of the story, it is all lovely tales that we have heard or read. The tales we have heard or read from our grandparents, from our parents, the tales, fairy tales, and all these are also thing of beauty, because they always give us that imagination which keep us alive, right? The imagining power. Then last two lines are the most important lines of this poetry. An endless fountain of immortal drink. Endless fountain, a fountain which is never ending. Of immortal drink, a drink which is immortal, which will make you immortal, which will never finish. What is that immortal drink? This immortal drink is the inspiration. An endless fountain of this inspiration is coming directly from the pouring unto us, coming to us from the heavens brink, from the God's heaven. So all these things like sun is coming from the sky, from heaven. It is pouring unto us this liquid, this water, or this sunlight, which is never ending. And it is like a fountain of never ending inspiration, positivity, reflection for all of us, care, comfort, and everything. So all these things of beauty are like the agents of God who have come to us like an endless fountain of inspiration, and keep us alive, keep us happy, keeps the hope alive for us, so that we can still do the things we are sent over here to do, right? So that's how the poetry ends up. These two lines are the most important lines. Endless fountain of immortal drink, something which is never ending, inspiration, and all these things are given by the things of beauty. Pouring to us directly from the heavens brink means coming from the God directly. So most probably these things of beauty are the form of God which are helping us to realize who we are and to feel more comfortable within ourselves, our bodies. So with that, we are done with the explanation of the poetry, but let us now come on to the last part. Here the poetry is explained in the simple terms, as you can see over here, what the poet is trying to say once again, right? You can see the sheep and all the imageries over here. These are the sheep, the tables, the tree, the daffodils. Then this is a summary of the poetry given. I've already explained it to you. It is a source of eternal joy for us. Eternal is never-ending joy. That loveliness grows with time, and its impact never fades away for us. Then it has soothing as cool shade provides, never passes into nothingness. It will never go away from our life. As long as we are alive, nature will always be there to help us out. So every morning we collect fresh lovely flowers and prepare garlands. Same manner we have to go back to nature, and nature will always help us out. Then they refresh our mood. We forget about our worries for a while. Life is full of trials and tribulations. This is what we have explained about city life. We often find ourselves in the midst of gloom. Every person gets a bitter taste of sorrow, suffering, and gloom and everything. But despite all these things, misfortunes give us mental and physical suffering. However, the beautiful things remove all the pall of sadness from us and just make us feel happy. Then, the sun, the moon are these examples, achievements of the heroes, magnificent rewards given by God on the day of judgment to them. So the showcase is God never take away something good from life like this. There will always be inspiring stories about them to inspire us to become better in life. Finally, moving on towards the points. So this is permanent source of joy, very, very important word over here. Never ending, never passing into nothingness. So it is permanent source of joy for us. Then a thing of beauty is a joy forever, does not pass into nothingness, sound sleep, good health. Our life is full of frustration, disappointments, and dearth of noble natures. These all makes life gloomy and sad. Thing of beauty make us better, help us get better. Then now see the poetic devices, transferred epithet. Days cannot be gloomy. Most probably our activities are gloomy, bad. That's why the day become bad. So gloomy day over here is a transferred epithet. Over darkened ways. The ways cannot be darkened. It most probably is the activity which humans are doing. That's why the way become darkened. That's why it is a transferred epithet. Then inversion. Normal order of words is reversed. Inversion is a poetic device. Are we reading? We are reading a flowery band. We are reading, but it has been reversed into a question. Are we reading a flowery band? Right? Then imagery, the flowery band, shady boon, clear rills, daffodil, all these are the imageries. Cooling covert, green world, because they help you to imagine what the poet is trying to say. Finally, alliteration, noble nature, cooling covert is alliteration over here. Rhyming scheme is AABBCCDD is the rhyming scheme of the poetry. And with that, we are done with the explanation part. Coming to the assignment questions. How does the beauty help us when we are burdened with grief? So it help us to remove the pall of darkness away from our spirit. Then the source, some shape of beauty is all those sources, sun, moon, trees, and all that. Figure of speech in the above lines over here, so you can very easily be able to find out what kind of figure of speech is used over here. Some shape, so it is alliteration, right? Then what are the poet's views on things of beauty? So things of beauty are a joy forever, they never ends. What effect do beautiful things have on us? They give us peace, relaxation, good health, and good sleep and everything. What makes human unhappy? The lines which were there in red in the explanation part of the video are the things which make us unhappy. How does the poet define the gifts of nature? By telling us how these gifts of nature have been helpful to humans to keep them hopeful of life and positive about life. Then, why does the poet say that a thing of beauty is a joy forever? Because these are the real things of beauty, because nature will remain with us forever, not unlike the materialistic things which will fade away with the time or wither away with time. Nature is forever, right? Before that, there was one question. What is the endless fountain a reference to? It is a reference to a motivation which will be there given by the things of beauty. So that is the endless fountain of motivation. Then, why is the grandeur associated with the mighty dead people? Because the mighty dead people have died, but yet God has given them the higher place. And their stories inspire us. That's why the greatness, the grandeur of their death. The way they have died is glorified. Then, what makes humans love life in spite of all the troubles? A thing of beauty, nature. Because it always gives us hope of life, the positivity of life. Finally, what is lovelier than all lovely tales we have heard or read? Yes, the lovelier things about these tales are that it always gives us this imagination power. Fairy tales give us that imagination power to imagine beyond what is given to us, what has been told to us. And that imagination always keeps us better than others in our lives. So with that, we are done with the discussion of this particular poetry, A Thing of Beauty. I hope all of you have understood this poetry. And if you have, please like, share and subscribe my channel. Thank you so much.